So we are the group 3. We are here to tackle about the Title 3 crimes against public order. So bear with us because this discussion consists of 24 crimes, and to start with
Article 134, Rebellion or Insurrection. How it is committed. The crime of rebellion or insurrection is committed by rising publicly and taking arms against the government for the purpose of removing from the allegiance to said government or its laws, the territory of the Republic of the Philippines, or any part thereof, or any body of land, naval, or other armed forces of depriving the chief executive or the legislature wholly or partially of any of their powers or prerogatives as amended by RL number 6968. So, there are two elements. Number one is that there be a public uprising. So, public uprising meaning a defiance to the lawful authority of the government. In Tagalog, pakikipaglaban sa gobyerno. And then, taking arms against the government. Isang klase ng pakikipaglaban sa gobyerno with arms. Pero yung arms na sinasabi dito is not only limited sa mga guns. Pwede dito yung kahit na anong arms na makakapaminsala sa buhay ng tao. And then number 2, that the purpose of the uprising or movement is either to remove from the allegiance to said government or its laws the territory of the Philippines or any part thereof, to deprive the chief executive or the Congress wholly or partially of their privilege. So dapat yung purpose dito sa crime na ito is para tanggalin or totally overthrow the government to establish their own government under their control. And then itong crime of rebellion or insurrection, it is a crime of masses. So meaning, it is not only limited, yung injury dito is not only limited to one person. Pwedeng maramihan yung victim dito. And then, it is a continuing crime. So meaning, kahit na natutulog lang yung mga rebelde, nagpapahinga, or kumakain yung mga rebelde, they are continuously committing this crime. And this is also a warrant of arrest. And lastly, this is a single crime. This single crime, so meaning hindi siya magiging complex crime unless for example, yung rebelde is nakapatay siya ng tao with aggravating circumstances. So hindi siya magiging rebellion with murder or homicide or parricide or infanticide and so on. Rebellion lang siya. Bali ma-absorb na yon ng crime na rebellion. Unless dito is kapag yung purpose or yung intention nitong rebelde is personal. Bali papatay niya yung tao na yon kasi personal yung galit niya, may personal siyang galit, hindi about sa about sa rebellion. Doon papasok ang complex crime. And then, let's proceed to Article 134-A, Codita, how it is committed. The crime of Codita is swift attack accompanied by violence, intimidation, threat, strategy, or stealth directed against duly constituted authorities of the Republic of the Philippines or any military camp or installation, communications, networks, public utilities, or other facilities needed for the exercise and continued possession of power, singly or simultaneously carried out anywhere in the Philippines by any person or persons belonging to the military or police or holding any public office or employment with or without civilian support or participation for the purpose of seizing or diminishing state power. So ito namang Codita, isa siyang mabilisan at sikretong pag-atake sa gobyerno or sa mga institusyon na pamamahala ng gobyerno. Like Bali dito sa Codita, ang purpose nito, ang purpose ng mga nagkukumit nitong kodita is para pahinain yung pwersa ng gobyerno. Papahinain nila yung pwersa ng gobyerno. Bale, ang gagawin nila is sasakupin nila yung mga facilities na pagmamayari ng gobyerno like banking and finance. Sasakupin nila yon para pahinain yung pwersa ng gobyerno, hindi direkta mismo sa gobyerno. So yun, sa kodita. And then ginagawa nila iyon with violence, intimidation, threat, strategy, and stealth. So, who may commit kodita? Only a person or persons who belong to the military or police or holding public office or employment. Any person not in the government service who participates or any manner supports, finances, abets, or aids in the undertaking of kodita. So let's proceed to the Article 135, penalty of rebellion, insurrection, or kodita. So any person who promotes, maintains, or heads a rebellion or insurrection shall suffer the penalty of reclusion perpetua. So dito yung mga leader ng rebellion or insurrection at kodita, ang penalty nila is reclusion perpetua. And then any person merely participating or executing the commands of others in a rebellion or insurrection shall suffer the penalty of reclusion temporal. So dito naman yung mga followers, reclusion temporal lang yung magiging penalty nila. And then any person who leads or any manner directs or commands other to undertake kodita shall suffer the penalty of reclusion perpetua. So yung mga heads din. Ganun din. So let's proceed to Article 136, conspiracy and proposal to commit kodita, rebellion, or insurrection. So there are two punishable acts to this article. Number one is conspiracy to commit rebellion and proposal to commit rebellion. And likewise then sa kodita, conspiracy to commit kodita and then proposal to commit kodita. So ang proposal to commit kodita, like for example dito is nagplano na ako and desidido na ako na magkukumit ako ng kodita. Planado na lahat yon sa isip ko. And then, pinopose ko to sa iba kong mga kasamahan. And then, kapag hindi nila tinanggap yon, ang magiging penalty mo doon is itong Article 136, which is proposal to commit kodita. Kodita ba yung sinabi ko or rebellion? Basta, yun. And then, conspiracy to commit kodita naman, dito naman is, di ba kanina, ang example ko ako, nakapag-decide ako, tapos pre-propose ko, pag di nila tinanggap yun, proposal to commit kodita, and then kapag tinanggap naman yun, ng pinag-proposan ko, hindi na siya magiging proposal to commit kodita. Magiging conspiracy to commit kodita na siya. Kasi meron ng agreement Meron ng agreement both parties. Kumbaga nag-agree na siya, ikaw na nag-propose, inagreehan ka ng pinag-proposan mo, kaya hindi na siya magiging proposal to commit kodita, kundi maging conspiracy to commit kodita na siya. And then, kapag ginawa nyo naman na yun, hindi na siya magiging Article 136. Papasok na siya sa Article 134-A kodita. And then, let's proceed to Article 137, disloyalty of public officers or employees. The penalty prison correctional and its minimum period shall be imposed upon public officers or employees who have failed to resist rebellion by all the means in their power or shall continue to discharge the duties of their offices under control of the rebels or shall accept appointment to office under them. So, what is the crime of disloyalty or public officers or employees? So, there are three punishable acts din dito sa Article 137. Number one is failed to resist the rebellion by all means within his power. So, assuming that uh, um assuming assuming yung Bigan City is uh, merong gustong sumakop sa Bigan City, which is yung mga rebelde. And then dito sa number 1, failed to resist the rebellion by all means within his power. So, di ba, like for example, itong Bigan City, sinasakop siya ng mga rebelde. And then, ikaw na public officer, ikaw na police or military na dapat na ipagtanggol mo yung Bigan City, hindi mo siya ipinagtanggol. Umatras ka, kumbaga natakot ka, hindi mo ginawa yung trabaho mo. Dito siya papasok sa number 1. Fail to resist the rebellion by all means within his power. And then number 2 naman is continue to discharge or perform his duties and functions under the control of the rebels. So assuming itong Bigan City is nasakop na siya ng mga rebelde. And then dito sa number 2 naman, nasakop na ng mga rebelde, no? Tapos ako or ikaw na pulis doon sa Bigan City, knowing na ang may control na sa Bigan City is yung mga rebelde, ginagawa mo pa rin yung trabaho mo, ginagawa mo pa rin yung mission mo bilang isang public officer o bilang isang police. So dito papasok yung number 2, continue to discharge or perform his duties and functions under the control of the rebels. And then number 3, accepted a position or office under the rebels. So yon, nasakop na ng Bigan City, diba? Tapos ikaw, like for example, ako, nag-offer sa akin yung mga rebelde na gagawin nila bibigyan nila ako ng mataas na posisyon dun sa Bigan City. Tapos, in-accept ko yun. So, dito yun papasok sa Article 137. Kahit na doon sa tatlo, punishable by Article 137 yon, which is the disloyalty of public officers or employees. Let's proceed to Article 138. Inciting to rebellion or insurrection. The penalty of prison mayor in its maximum period shall be imposed upon any person who, without taking arms or being in open hostility against the government, shall incite others to the execution of any of the acts specified in Article 134 of this code by means of speeches. Article 134, or rebellion or insurrection. By means of speeches, proclamations, writings, emblems, banners, or other representations tending to the same end. So, dito sa 138, inciting to rebellion or insurrection. From the word incite, to encourage the people to commit rebellion or insurrection. So, dito, kumbaga, hinihikayat niya yung mga tao na mag-commit ng rebellion by means of speeches, proclamations, writing, emblems, banners. So public niya ginagawa yung paghihikayat sa mga tao to commit rebellion. So kung mapapansin nyo, inciting to rebellion or insurrection lang, wala siyang inciting to kudita. It is because kudita ginagawa siya sa mabilisan or sikretong pag-attack sa gobyerno. Dito by means of speeches, bali public ginagawa ito . So wala talaga sa kudita. And that would be all. Thank you.
Article 139 of the Revised Penal Code. Sedition. Sedition is the crime committed by any person who rise publicly and tumultuously in order to attain by force, intimidation, or by other means outside of the legal methods. Sedition ay pag-aalsa ng hayagan at magulong paraan upang makamit sa pamamagitan ng dahas or pagiging bayolente ang alinman sa mga sumusunod. First, to prevent the promulgation or execution of any law or the holding of any popular election. Pagpigil sa pagpapatupad ng batas o pagdaraos ng halalan. Second, to prevent the national government or any provincial or municipal government or any public officer thereof from freely exercising its or his functions or prevent the execution of any administrative order. Para pigilan ang pamahalaan o mga opisyal na gampanan ang kanilang tungkulin o pigilan ang anumang utos ng administrasyon. Third, to inflict any act of hate or revenge upon the person or property of any public officer or employee. Para magsanhi ng galit o paghihiganti sa sinumang pampublikong opisyal o kawani. Fourth, to commit for any political or social end any act of hate or revenge against private person or any social class. Private person, any person except public officers or officials. Social class, panlipunang puri. Para magsagawa ng higanti o laban sa private person o anumang bagay o anumang social class. Fifth, and to despoil for any political or social end person, municipality, or province or the national government of all its property or any part thereof. Para agawan ang sinumang tao o anumang bayan o lalawigan o pambansang pamahalaan ng lahat ng pag-aari nito. Sedition consists of making disturbances, commotions, or resulting to acts of violence or destruction, or violation of public peace and order for the purpose of expressing discontent, disagreement, disapproval, opposition, and criticism to a government policy, program, or force of action, or to a law or regulation, or to a government official or his official action, or to members of social class. Elements of sedition. First, offenders rise under first element, letter A. The offenders is rising publicly is merely to create commotion and disturbances by way of protest to express their dissent and disobedience to the government or to the authorities concerned. Letter B, tumultuously. Pag-aalsa sa magulong paraan na nagsanhi ng disturbo sa publiko at pag-aaklas laban sa gobyerno. Second element, they employ force, intimidation, or other means outside intimidation of legal method. Paggamit ng dahas o pananakot o iba pang pamamaraan labas sa pinahihintulutan ng batas. Third element, offenders employ any of these means to attain any of the following objects. Take note, the purpose may either be political or social, but not the downfall or overthrow. Overthrow or downfall means pagbagsak ng gobyerno. Pag ang purpose ay ang i-overthrow ang government, it will fall into rebellion. Example of sedition. Pagprotesta laban sa pag-increase ng taxes under new tax law. Second example, pag-appoint sa hindi gustong opisyal ng gobyerno. Who can be offenders? Maybe a public or private person. Leaders and participants are liable. Who are victims? The acts may be directed to a private person, or to their property, or to public officials, or to property of any political subdivisions. Article 141 of the Revised Penal Code. Conspiracy to commit sedition. There is a conspiracy to commit sedition when two or more persons come to an agreement to rise publicly and tumultuously to attain any objects specified in Article 139 and they decided to commit it. Dito sa conspiracy to commit sedition, dalawa o mahigit ang nagkasundo
upang gawin ang crime ng sedition at nagdesisyon silang gawin ito. Take note, walang proposal to commit sedition. Ang meron lang ay conspiracy to commit sedition. Example of conspiracy to commit sedition. Si A and B ay nagkasundo upang magprotesta sa labas ng SM malls dahil sa posibleng pagkamatay ng maliliit na negosyo. Article 142 of the Revised Penal Code. Inciting to sedition. A crime committed by any person who, without taking any direct part in the crime of sedition, should or incite others to the accomplishment of any of the acts without constitute sedition by means of speeches, proclamations, writings, emblems, cartoon, banner, or other representations tending to the same end, or upon any person or person shall utter sedition's word or speeches, write or publish, or circulate spurious libels against the government, any of the duly constituted authorities thereof, or which to tend to disturb or obstruct any lawful officer in executing the functions of his office, or which tend to instigate others to cabal and meet together. Pag-udyok sa krimeng sedition. Gawa ng sinumang hindi direktang lumalahok sa krimen ng sedition, ngunit nag-uudyok ng ibang tao na magsagawa ng anumang gawain na maituturing na sedition sa pamamagitan ng talumpati, pahayag, pagsulat, sagisag, bandila, o iba pang representasyon. Ito rin ay gawa ng sinumang tao o grupo ng mga tao sa pamamaraan ng pagbitiw ng mga mapang-uyam na salita o pagkakalat ng paninirang puri laban sa pamahalaan ng Pilipinas o anumang otoridad nito. Ang pagpigil o pag-abala sa sinumang opisyal na gampanan ang tungkulin sa kanyang opisina. Pag-udyok ng iba na magsama-sama para sa mga iligal na layunin. Pagmungkahi ng sabwatan upang magsimula ng rebelyon o kaguluhan. Pagpukaw ng mga tao laban sa kinauukulan, pag-abala sa kapayapaan ng pamayanan, kaligtasan o kaayusan ng pamahalaan o paglihim ng masamang kasanayan. Punishable acts. First, inciting others. Second, pagsulat, paglatala, o pagkakalat ng mabagsik na paninirang puri laban sa pamahalaan o otoridad na maaaring makabala sa pampublikong kapayapaan. Take note, it is not the use of words, emblems, and others, and not the performance of act that is punished in inciting sedition. Offenders must not take part in any public or any tumultuous uprising.
So I will discuss to you the Article 143, 144, and 145. So let's start with Article 143, Acts tending to prevent the meeting of the Assembly and similar bodies. The penalty of prison correctional or a fine ranging from 200 to 2,000 pesos or both shall be imposed upon any person who, by force or fraud, prevents the meeting of the National Assembly, Congress of the Philippines, or any of its committees or subcommittees, constitutional commission or committees or division thereof, or of any provincial board or city or municipal council or board, as amended by the Commission Acts number 264, restored by the Executive Order number 187. So ito ang pagpigil sa pamamagitan ng dahas o panluloko sa pagpupulong na gaganapin sa Kongreso o anuman sa mga lupon nito. So, how the crime is committed? By preventing the meeting of Congress, subcommittees, constitutional commissions, provincial board, city council, and municipal council. So, hindi kabilang dito yung ibang sangay ng pamahalaan. Ito lang mga nabanggit. So, pagpipigil sa pagpupulong ng mga kongreso or anuman sa mga lupo nito by means of force or fraud sa pamamagitan ng dahas o panluloko. Example dito is giving a letter to the committee members that the meeting is postponed or cancelled by falsifying the signature of the committee chairman. So, nagbigay ka ng fake notice para hindi matuloy yung meeting ng mga kongreso. The offender doesn't have to actually prevent the meeting. If his action tend to prevent the meeting, the crime is consummated. So, hindi dahil nagbigay ka ng fake notice, tapos natuloy pa rin yung meeting nila, still consummated pa rin yun. The mere fact na yung action mo tend to prevent the meeting, you will be liable in Article 143. Next, Article 144, disturbance of proceedings. The penalty of arresto mayor or a fine from 200 to 1,000 pesos shall be imposed upon any person who disturbs the meeting of the National Assembly, Congress of the Philippines, or any of its committees or subcommittees, constitutional committees or division thereof, or of any provincial board or city or municipal council or board, or the presence of such bodies should behave in such manner as to interrupt its proceedings or to impair the respect due to it, as amended by the Commission Act Number 264, restored by the Executive Order Number 187. So ito naman yung paggambala or guluhin ang pagpupulong na nagaganap sa Kongreso or anuman sa mga lupo nito o pagkilos sa paraang pwedeng makagambala sa paglilitis na nagaganap dito. The elements of Article 144: 1. There is a meeting of Congress or any of its committees or subcommittees, constitutional commissions or committees or division thereof, or any provincial board or city or municipal council. So, merong nagaganap na pagpupulong sa Kongreso o anuman sa mga lupo nito. 2. The offender perform any of the following acts, disturb any such meeting. So, example dito is yung pagputol ng kable ng kuryente habang nagaganap ang meeting. So, dahil sa pagkawala ng kuryente, maaaring hindi na ituloy yung meeting nila. Behave in such a manner as to interrupt its proceedings or to impair the respect due to it. So, example naman dito is yung unnecessary actions or movements. Like pagkanta habang hindi pa oras ng pagkanta. Or kung ano-anong ginagawa mo sa meeting kahit hindi naman dapat yun yung gawin mo. Next, Article 145, violation of parliamentary immunity. The penalty of prison mayor shall be imposed upon any person who shall use force, intimidation, threat, or fraud to prevent any member of the National Assembly, Congress of the Philippines from attending the meetings of the Assembly, Congress, or of any of its committees or subcommittees, constitutional commissions or committees or division thereof, from expressing his opinion or casting his vote, and the penalty of prison correctional shall be imposed upon any public officer or employee who shall, while the assembly is in regular or special session, arrest or search any member thereof, except in case such member has committed a crime punishable under this code by a penalty higher than prison mayor, as amended by the Commission Act Number 264. Ito ay isang krimen na nagagawa ng kahit na sino sa pamamagitan ng paghadlang o pagpigil sa mga miyembro ng Kongreso upang dumalo sa mga pagpupulong nito o ipahayag ang kanilang opinyon o pagbigay ng kanilang mga boto. Nagagawa din ito sa pamamagitan ng paghuli, paghahanap o pagsusuri sa mga miyembro ng Kongreso habang kasalukuyang nagaganap ang regular or special session ng mga ito, maliban na lang kung ang miyembro ay hinahatulan ng mas higit pa sa prison mayor. So how is the crime of violation of parliamentary immunity committed? 1. By preventing any member of the Congress from attending the meeting of the Congress or any of its committees or division by force, intimidation, threat, or fraud. So ito yung pagpigil or paghadlang sa miyembro ng Kongreso upang dumalo sa kanilang pagpupulong sa pamamagitan ng dahas, pananakot o panloloko. Number 2, preventing any member of the Congress Number 2, preventing any member of the Congress from expressing his opinions or casting his vote. Ito naman yung pagpipigil sa mga miyembro ng Kongreso upang ipahayag ang kanilang opinion o magbigay ng kanilang mga boto. Number 3 and 4, arresting and searching any member of the Congress while Congress is in regular or special session, except when the penalty for the crime is punishable by a penalty higher than prison mayor. So ito naman yung paghuli, paghahanap o pagsusuri sa mga miyembro ng Kongreso habang kasalukuyang nagaganap ang special or regular session ng mga ito, maliban na lang kung ang miyembro ay hinahatulan ng mas higit pa sa prison mayor. So, yung offender lang dito sa 3 and 4 is yung may power to arrest and search. So, example dito is yung House of the Congress is on his way para pumunta sa kanyang regular session. Tapos binaril niya yung kamay ng kanyang driver with his licensed firearm. And a police officer came to arrest the House of the Congress. So, liable na yung police officer na nag-arrest kasi it is only attempted homicide, which is punishable by prison correctional. And nakasaad sa Article 145 na higher than prison mayor upang pwede nang hulihin ang mga kongreso or anuman sa mga lupon nito.
Ayan. So, let's talk about Article 146 or illegal assemblies. The penalty of prison correctional and its maximum period to prison mayor and its medium period shall be imposed upon the organizers or leaders or of any meeting attended by armed persons for the purpose of committing any crime of treason, rebellion, sedition, or assault. Upon a person in authority or his agent, person merely present at such meeting shall suffer the penalty of arresto mayor unless they are armed, in which case the penalty shall be prison correctional. If any person present at the meeting carries an unlicensed firearm, it should be presumed that the purpose of said meeting is so far as he is concerned, it is commit acts punishable by under this code and shall be considered a leader or organizer of the meeting within the purview of the preceding paragraph. As used in this article, when we said meeting, it is a group of gathering, whether in a fixed place or moving. This law punishes a gathering of people for illegal purpose, the unlawful purpose for the punishment under the revised penal code. If unlawful purpose is punishable by special law, illegal assembly is not committed. So, there are two requisites of illegal assembly, which is a meeting attended by armed persons for the purpose of committing any crimes under the revised penal code. Meaning, first, there is a meeting or gathering. Second, audience, armed man o hindi, is incited na gumawa ng treason, rebellion, sedition, or direct assault. For example, there is a gathering and there is a 40 persons and 10 armed men who gathered in a meeting for the purpose of committing robbery. ang nakumit nito is illegal assembly because the law does not provide states how many persons attending the meeting must be armed. Sabi lang that a good number is enough. And a good number means 2 persons is enough. That is a good number. So they commit illegal assemblies. Second requisite, a meeting in which the audience is incited to commit the crime of treason, rebellion, or insurrection, sedition, or assault upon a person in authority of his agent. So, this one, first, meron ding meeting or gathering of a group, of a person. Number 2, there are armed persons. Number 3, ang purpose nila is to commit any crime punishable under this revised penal code. For example is, purpose of meeting is to incite sedition. The constabulary soldiers stop the meeting and dispose the people bago mangyari ang meeting or incited sedition, na-stop na sila. Di pa nagsisimula yung meeting, na-stop na. Ano ang crime na nakumit? So, hindi sila nag-commit sa illegal assembly sa second requisite. Dahil walang nasagawa na meeting, walang pagpupulong na nangyari or natapos dahil bago pa mangyari ang meeting, na-stop na sila para sa meeting nilang incited sedition. So, hindi siya nag-commit ng illegal assemblies dahil walang meeting na naganap. So, next is Article 147 or illegal associations. The penalty of prison correctional and its minimum and medium period and a fine not exceeding 1,000 pesos shall be imposed upon the founders, directors, and presidents of associations totally and partially organized for the purpose of committing any crimes punishable under the code, of for some purpose contrary to public morals. Mere members of said associations shall suffer the penalty of arresto mayor. Illegal associations. Associations totally or partially organized for the purpose of committing any crime punishable under the code. Number 2, association totally or partially organized for some purpose contrary to public morals. So, the persons liable here is founders, directors, and president of association. Number 2, mere members of the association. So, ano nga ba ang illegal associations? Ang illegal associations ay may organisasyon kayo na ang purpose is to commit any crime that are punishable under the revised penal code. Example, organizations that inflict bloody riots. So, meaning natin dito, patayan, mga organisasyon na kasali sa mga bugbugan, ganon. Or, let's say, ang example nito ay ang mga Prats. Diba? Ang mga Prats, may organisasyon sila na ang konsepto nila is kapag ang isang member ay dali sa bloody riots, 'di ba? Magre-report sila, then lahat ng mga members or tutulong para tulungan yung kakampi nila. And in that case, nag-inflict na sila ng bloody riots. Like sila dahil sa ginawa nila, nagkagulo, nagbanggaan ang dalawang grupo. Like nagbanggaan ang dalawang grupo. So, ayun ang illegal associations. So, next is Article 143 or direct assault. Any person or persons who, without a public uprising, shall employ force or intimidation for the attainment of any of the purpose enumerated in defining the crimes of rebellion and sedition, or shall attack, employ force, or seriously intimidate or resist any person in authority or any of his agents while engaged in the performance of official duties, or on occasional or such performance, shall suffer the penalty of prison correctional in its medium and maximum periods, and a fine not exceeding 1,000 pesos when the assault is committed with a weapon, or when the offender is a public officer or employee, or when the offender lays hand a person in authority. If none of these circumstances be present, the penalty of prison correctional in its minimum period and a fine not exceeding 500 pesos shall be imposed. Two forms of direct assault. One is without a public uprising by employing of force or intimidation for the attainment of any of the purpose enumerated in defining the crimes of rebellion and sedition. So, dito, yung una, nag-e-employ ng force to attain rebellion. Parang, nagbibigay sila ng lakas o force para maano nila yung rebellion. So, second is attacking, employing force, or seriously intimidating or resisting any person in authority or any of his agent while engaged in the performance of their duties or on occasion such performance. Number two, the attack is yung public authority. Or, inatake mo in his performance of duty or nagtratrabaho ng maayos at bigla mong sinaksak, that is direct assault. And, pag wala siya sa performance of his duty, hindi ito direct assault. So, like, for example, yung police is naka-duty. And, merong isang lalaking lumapit sa kanya at biglang sinaksak. That is committed by direct assault. Second, a teacher na mapayapang nagtuturo sa loob ng paaralan. May biglang pumasok na tao para patayin or saksakin ang isang guro. That is also committed direct assault. So, ang direct assault ay ang pagpatay o pagpaslang sa isang tao na nasa performance of his duty, na nasa kanyang duty sa pagtatrabaho. So, pag ang person in authority na ay hindi nasa performance of duty, hindi ito direct assault. Ang direct assault ay ang namatay ay ang person in authority at nasa performance of duty sila. So, ang victim dito ay ang persons in authority, police, teacher, guards, ganon. Tapos, sila ang mga person in authority. So, kapag nasa performance of his duty sila at doon mo sila pinatay, it means direct assault. Pag wala sila sa performance of duty nila, hindi yan direct assault. So, let's proceed to indirect assault, which is Article 149, indirect assault. The penalty of prison correctional in its minimum and medium period and a fine not exceeding 500 pesos shall be imposed upon any person who shall make use of force or intimidation upon any person committing the aid of authorities or agents in the occasion of commission of any of the crimes defined in the next preceding article. Elements: a person in authority or his agent as the victim of any of the forms of direct assault defined in Article 148. A person comes to an aid such authority or his agent offender makes use of force or intimidation upon such person committing to aid in authority of his agent. Third, the offended party is a private person who comes to an aid of an agent of a person in authority. The agent of a person in authority is assaulted, and the private person goes to his aid. There is no indirect assault. If there is no direct assault upon an agent of a person in authority. So, dito, sa indirect assault, dito naman is agent in authority. Sila ang mga victim. So, sino nga ba ang mga agent in authority? So, kapag tinulungan mo ang person in authority, considered ka ng agent in authority. So, kapag ang nasaktan ay ang agent in authority, mag-fall yan sa indirect assault. So, ganito yan. Ang indirect assault kasi is, sabi dito, with the aid. Sabi dito, the offender make use of force or intimidation upon such person coming to aid of the authority of his agent. So dito, ang agent of authority, sila yung nag-e-aid sa person in authority. So, natatawag ang agent in authority kapag tinulungan mo. Kapag tumulong ka or nag-aid ka sa person in authority, considered ka ng agent of authority. So, ang example dito is, ang person in authority ay nasa gitna ng pakikilaban or bakbakan, gano'n. Tapos, ikaw, tumulong ka, binigyan mo sila ng mga armas, any aid na tulong mo sa kanila. Tapos ang namatay is ikaw na agent of authority. Ikaw ang namatay na nag-aid sa person in authority. That is a crime of indirect assault. Ganon po ang indirect assault. Ang taong tumulong, kapag ang namatay ay ang taong tumulong, mag-fall po yan sa indirect assault. So, yun lang po at salamat.
Article 151 of the Revised Penal Code, resistance and disobedience to a person in authority or the agents of such person. The penalty of arresto mayor and a fine not exceeding 500 pesos shall impose upon any person who not being included in the provisions of preceding articles shall resist or seriously disobey any person in authority or the agents of such person while engaged in the performance of official duties. When the disobedience to agent of a person in authority is not of a serious nature, the penalty of arresto minor or fine ranging from 10 to 100 pesos shall be imposed upon the offender. Elements. Number 1. A person in authority or his agents is engaged in the performance of official duty or gives a lawful order to the offender. Second, offender resists or seriously disobeys such person in authority or his agents. Example, si punong barangay ay nagpatupad ng liquor ban sa kanyang barangay. Tapos nakita niya yung mga kabataan na umiinom ng alak sa tabi ng daan. At sinabihan niya ito pero wala pa rin silang ginawa at uminom pa rin. Dahil doon, pwede silang makasuhan ng Article 151, the Revised Penal Code, which is resistance and serious disobedience of his agent. Article 152, a person in authority and agents of a person in authority. Sino-sino nga ba yung person of authority? Municipal mayor, barangay captain, teacher, lawyers, and judge. Sino-sino rin ba yung mga agents? Ang pwedeng maging agents ay police officers and barangay tanod. So, paano nga ba yung si security guard? Pwede ba siyang maging agent? Pwede. For example, may nangyaring kaguluhan sa mall, and then sinita ito ng security guard. Then, pinuntan ito ng mga pulis so that yung pagpunta ng mga pulis doon, pwede na siyang maging agent. Article 153 of the Revised Penal Code. Tumults and other disturbances of public disorder. The penalty of arresto mayor in its medium period to prison correctional in its minimum period and fine not exceeding 1,000 pesos shall be imposed upon any person who shall cause any serious disturbance in public place, office, or establishment, or shall interrupt or disturb public performances, function, or gatherings, or peaceful meetings, if the act is not included in the provision of Article 131 and 132. So, the acts punishable under this article are these following. Number 1, causing any serious disturbances in a public place, office, or establishment. Ang halimbawa nito ay kayo ay nagsagawa ng meeting sa inyong bahay at merong naghamon ng suntukan doon. Yun yung example niya, number 1. Number 2, interrupting or disturbing public performances, function, or gathering, or peaceful meetings in the act is not included, Article 1 and Article 132. Ang halimbawa naman nito ay fiesta sa inyong barangay at may ganap na, for example, pageant sa inyong barangay. Tapos, pumunta ka doon at inusturbo mo sila at ginawa mo pang ng bato-bato sa stage. Number 3, making a derogatory remarks linked to incite rebellion or sedition in any meeting, association, public place. Number 4, displaying placards or emblem which provoke a disturbance of the public order in such place. Ito naman ang mga pagdi-display ng mga placards at kung ano-ano man inalagay din sa mga paligid. For example, yung mga tarpaulin, gano'n, na nag-uudok ng rebellion, gano'n. Okay, number 5, burying with pump the body of a person who has been legally executed. Ang halimbawa nito ay ang pagtago ng patay na tao. In addition, ano pala ang tumults? Ang tumultus ay ito yung riot. Ito ay paggawa ng kaguluhan more than 3 person. Article 154 of the Revised Penal Code. Unlawful use of means, publication, and unlawful utterances. The penalty of arresto mayor and the fine ranging from 20 to 1,000 pesos shall be imposed upon. In this article, there are four objects being punished. Number 1, any person by means of printing, lithography, or any other means of publication shall be published or caused to be published as news any false news which may be endanger to the public order or cause damage to the interest or credit of the state. Halimbawa nito ay binalita na mag-resign ng ating Pangulo. Ang nagbalita, binase mo lang sa mga haka-haka. Dito pwedeng maparosahan ang nagbalita. Number 2, any person who by the same means or by words, utterance, or speeches shall encourage disobedience to the law or the constituted authorities, or praise, justify, or to extol any punished by law. Example naman nito ay sinuri mo ang mga pulis na pinagbabaril ang mga sundalo sa Mindanao sa harap ng media na dapat ayon ailawin nila. Okay, number 3. Any person who shall maliciously publish or cause to be publishes any official resolution or document without proper authority or before they have been published official. Ang halimbawa naman ito ay nasa table ni Judge yung decision na guilty ng murder si A. At ngayon nakita to ito ni B. At inilathala ito sa lahat na guilty si A sa murder. Yun ay hindi pwede dahil pwede pa itong magbago. Okay, number 4. Any person who shall print, publish, or distribute or cause to be printed, publish, or distribute books, pamphlets, periodicals, or leaflets which do not bear the real printer's name or which are classified as anonymous as amended by Com Act number 202.
Article 155, Alarms and Scandals. Alarms and scandals, the penalty of arresto menor or a fine not exceeding 200 pesos shall be imposed upon any person who within any town or public place shall discharge any firearm, rocket, firecracker, or other explosive calculated to cause alarm and danger. What is crime committed if a person fires his gun? The crime committed will be alarms and scandal if the firearm is fired in public and is not directed to any person. Sabi dito, pag yung firearm itinutok lang sa air, but not directed to any person, hindi tinutok sa tao. The crime committed will be illegal discharge of firearm if the gun is fired at particular person without intent to kill. Tinutok lang ito sa tao pero wala siyang intent to kill. Attempted homicide or attempted murder. Dito na pumapasok. As the case may be when the gun is fired at a person with intent to kill. If the wound inflicted is not mortal or serious, the crime is attempted. If the wound inflicted is mortal or serious, the crime is prostrated in accordance with Article 6 of the Revised Penal Code. Number 2. Any person who shall instigate or take an active part in any charivari or other disorderly meeting offensive to another or prejudicial to public tranquility. What is charivari? Charivari is creating discordant voices or noises with intent to annoy or insult a person. The creating discordant voices or noises made on kettles, tins, horns, etc. Number 3. Any person who, while wandering about at night or while engaged in any nocturnal amusement, shall disturb the public peace. What is nocturnal amusement? Nocturnal amusement, sabi dito, pag 10 PM na, pinapatigil na sa pag-videoke yung mga tao kasi ang oras na yon ay magiging nocturnal amusement na. Oras na yon ng pagtulog. Pag di kayo nagpaawat, pwede kayong kasuhan ng alarms and scandals. Number 4. Any person who, while intoxicated or otherwise, shall cause any disturbance or scandal in public places, provided that the circumstances of the case shall not make the provisions of Article 153 applicable. Here naman is yung mga lasing, while intoxicated. Lasing na nagdi-disturb ng public places, the case will be alarms and scandals and the penalty will be 1 day to 30 days. Ito yung mga
naggagala-gala sa mga public places, tapos nagdi-disturbo. Act punish. Number 1, discharge any firearm, rocket, firecracker, or other explosive within a town or public place calculated to cause alarm and danger. Number 2, instigating or taking an active part in any charivari or disorderly meeting offensive to another or prejudicial to public tranquility. Number 3, disturbing the public peace while wandering about at night or while engaged in any other nocturnal amusement. Lastly, number 4, causing any disturbance or scandal in public places while intoxicated or otherwise. The crime of alarms and scandals constitute only one crime. Scandals here does not refer to moral standard in the contemplation of other public peace and tranquility. Article 200 of the Revised Penal Code. Article 155 deals with disturbance. What is charivari? Charivari, it is a mock, serenade, a medley of discordant voices wherein the supposed serenades use broken tins, broken pots, bottles, or other utensils. It is noise offensive to the sense of hearing and it disturbs public and tranquility. It is noise offensive to the sense of hearing and it disturbs public and tranquility. Article 156, delivery of prisoners from jail. The penalty of arresto mayor in its maximum period to prison correctional in its minimum period shall be imposed upon any person who shall remove from any jail or penal establishment any person confined therein, or shall help the escape of such person by means of violence, intimidation, or bribery. If other means are used, the penalty of arresto mayor shall be imposed. Ito yung mga outsider person na tumulong o kaya siya ang naging rason para makatakas ang isang nakakulong sa isang establishment or jail. May dalawang klase ng confined person, the detention prisoners and the sentenced prisoners. Sentenced prisoners, sila yung mga nasentensyahan na ng korte at kasalukuyang pinupuno ang kanilang pagkakasala sa loob ng bilangguan. Detention prisoners, sila yung mga ongoing pa lang yung hearing ng kanilang kaso sa kadahilan ng siguro na ang kanilang kaso ay hindi bailable o kaya wala silang pagpiyansa. Hindi bailable. Okay? And if the escape of the prisoner shall take place outside of said establishment by taking the guards by surprise, the same penalties shall be imposed in their minimum period. Elements. Number 1, there is a person confined in jail or penal establishment. Number 2, the offender removes the person confined from jail or penal establishment or helps in the escape of such persons. The person confined could either be a detention prisoner and convict serving sentence. Yun yung pinaliwanag ko kanina. Means of commission, violence, intimidation, or bribery. Who may commit the crime? Any person, a private person or outsider, jail guard, or warden. What is the crime committed if a person removes a person from jail? It depends. Bakit? If the offender is the jail guard or jail warden who has custody of the person, he commits infidelity in the custody of prisoners. Ibang kaso na yon. Ibang kaso na kapag yung nagpatakas ay jail guard or jail warden. which is the infidelity in the custody of prisoners. Example, Rodrigo is confined in jail. Patricio, a friend of Rodrigo, approached Mauricio, the jail guard, and offered him 20,000 in exchange of the freedom of Rodrigo. Mauricio left the cell of Rodrigo closed but unlocked. In the middle of the night, Rodrigo noticed that his cell was not locked. Rodrigo took advantage thereof and escaped. Determine the criminal liabilities of Patricio, Mauricio, and Rodrigo. Okay. Patricio is liable for 2 crimes. He is liable for corruption of public officer, Article 212, because he bribed the jail guard Mauricio in allowing the escape of Rodrigo. Liable for delivery of prisoner from jail because he caused or helped in the escape of Rodrigo. Mauricio, the jail guard, is also liable for 2 crimes. He is liable for direct bribery, Article 210, because he received something in consideration of the performance of an act amounting to a crime. He is also liable for infidelity in the custody of prisoners, Article 223, because he consented in the escape of the prisoner under his custody or charge. Okay. With respect to Rodrigo, his liability depends on the following. If he is convicted serving sentence, he is liable for evasion of service of sentence, Article 157. But if he is only a detention prisoner, the answer is it depends. If he knew the plan of Patricio and Mauricio to allow him to escape, if he knew the plan of Patricio and Mauricio to allow him to escape, he is liable for delivery prisoner from jail as principal by indispensable cooperation. If he was not aware of the plan, he is not liable. There is no law punishing the act. Chapter 6. Evasion of service of sentence. Article 157. Evasion of service of sentence. The penalty of prison correctional in its medium period and maximum period shall be imposed upon any convict who shall evade service of his sentence by escaping during the term of his imprisonment by reason of final judgment. However, if such evasion or escape shall have taken place by means of unlawful entry, by breaking doors, windows, gates, walls, roofs, or floors, or by using picklocks, false keys, disguise, deceit, violence, or intimidation, or through connivance with other convicts or employees of the penal institution, the penalty shall be prison correctional in its maximum period. Elements. The offender is serving sentence by final judgment. He evades service of sentence. Here, only the convicted. Hindi nakasama dito yung mga detention prisoners. Convicted, ito yung mga nasentensyahan na at tumakas siya sa bilangguan. Ang kaso niya ay evasion of service sentence. 3 kinds of evasion of service sentence. Number 1, evasion of service of sentence, Article 157. Number 2, evasion of service of sentence on the occasion of a disorder or other calamities, Article 158. And number 3, violation of conditional pardon, Article 159. Qualifying circumstances that increase the penalty in evasion of service of sentence. If the evasion is by means of unlawful entry, by using picklocks, false keys, disguise, deceit, violence, or intimidation, through connivance with other convicts or employees of the penal institution. Question: can this crime be committed by a detention prisoner? Answer: no, because there is yet no sentence to evade. Okay? Example, Vanessa was convicted of concubinage by a Baguio City court where the crime was committed. She was found guilty by the court and was sentenced to suffer the penalty of dischero, 6 months and 1 day to 6 years. She was banished to a distance of 250 kilometers radius from the place where the crime was committed. After 1 year, she went to Baguio City and was arrested. What crime did she commit? Why? The answer is she committed evasion of service sentence under Article 87 of the Revised Penal Code. A person sentenced to dischero is not permitted to enter the place designated in the sentence, nor within the radius of not more than 250 and not less than 25 kilometers from the place designated. She violated the law.
Article 158, the evasion of service of sentence on the occasion of disorder, conflagration, earthquake, or other calamities. A convict who shall evade the service of his sentence by leaving the penal institution where he shall have been confined on the occasion of disorder resulting from a conflagration, earthquake, explosion, or similar catastrophe, or during any mutiny in which he has not participated, shall suffer an increase of 1/5 of the time still remaining to be served under the original sentence, which in no case shall exceed 6 months if he shall fail to give himself up to the authorities within 48 hours following the issuance of proclamation by the Chief Executive announcing the passing away of such calamity. Convict who under the circumstances mentioned in the preceding paragraph shall give themselves up to the authorities within the above-mentioned period of 48 hours, shall be entitled to the deduction provided in Article 98. There are 4 elements in this article. First, the offender is convicted by final judgment who is confined in the penal institution. Second, there is a disorder resulting from conflagration, earthquake, explosion, similar catastrophe, or mutiny in which he has not participated. Unlike in Article 157, this article applies only to convict by final judgment who are serving sentence inside the penal institution, meaning there are those who are actually serving sentence inside the prison. Because in Article 157 applies not only to those who are completely deprived of liberty, but also to those who are partially deprived of liberty. The third element, he evades service of sentence by leaving the penal institution on the occasion of such disorder during the mutiny. The mere occurrence of a conflagration, earthquake, is not only enough. Such calamity must produce some disorder inside the penal institution. In the case of mutiny, however, it is not necessary that a disorder should result. The fourth element, he fails to give himself up to the authorities within 48 hours following the issuance of the proclamation by the Chief Executive announcing the passing away of such calamity. If the convict fail to give himself within such 48 hours, he will suffer an increase of 1/5 of the time, still remaining to be served under the original sentence, but in no case shall exceed in 6 months. On the other hand, if the convict give himself up within the said 48 hours, he is entitled to a deduction of 1/5 of his sentence as provided in Article 98 of the Revised Penal Code. Next, the Article 159, the other cases of evasion of service of sentence. The penalty of prison correctional on its minimum period shall be imposed upon the convict who, having been granted conditional pardon by the Chief Executive, shall violate any of the condition of such pardon. However, if the penalty remitted by the granting of such pardon be higher than 6 years, the convict shall then suffer the unexpired portion of his original sentence. So, kailan siya considered na violation of conditional pardon? Answer, when the condition is violated during the remaining period of the sentence. These are the elements of this article. First, the offender is convicted. Second, he was granted pardon by the chief executive. The third, he violated any of the conditions of the pardon. Example, si A is may hatol na 12 years na pagkakakulong. So, after 5 years, nabigyan siya ng conditional pardon. Supposed to be may 7 years pa siyang isi-serve sa kulungan. Since nagrantan siya ng conditional pardon, nasa labas na siya. After years niyang mabigyan ng conditional, natulan ulit siya ng bagong crime na ginawa niya. So, na-violate na niya yung conditional pardon. Pwede siyang liable sa Article 158 since within sa unserved portion sa original sentence niya. So, paano kung nakumit niya yung bagong crime after 8 years mula nung nagrantan siya ng conditional pardon? Note, hindi na siya liable under Article 158. However, kahit hindi na siya liable sa Article 158, pwede pa rin siyang i-require yung unserved portion, yung original sentence niya kapag ito ay nakalagay sa mga conditional sa pardon niya na binigay sa kanya. So, who is a quasi-recidivist? A quasi-recidivist is any person who shall commit a felony while serving the sentence or before serving the sentence. The maximum penalty for the new felony shall be imposed. This article, there are two elements. First, the offender is convicted by final judgment of a felony or an offense. Second, he commit a felony before beginning to serve such a sentence or while serving the sentence. The second offense should be a felony or the second crime committed must be a violation of the revised penal code. So, kailan nagawa yung second crime? Sabi sa batas, before beginning to serve such a sentence or while serving the sentence. Example, when the second crime is committed while the convict is being transported to prison. Second, habang nasa kulungan ka. Third, habang nakatakas ka sa kulungan. Take note, a quasi-recidivist is not only a felony but a special aggravating circumstances. Second, the first offense may be any crime but the second must always be a felony.